okay. I went home for Thanksgiving for the first time in a while.
That sounds nice. When was the last time you were home?
Last Christmas, maybe? No, yeah, it might have been a year before. So, yeah, almost 2 years. It's been a while.
That's a long time to be away from home.
Yes, it's not anything bad. Me and my mom, we're both busy and,
Of course.
we talk a lot and we text a lot. You know this.
How was the visit?
It could have gone better.
What makes you say that?
It was a lot.
Yeah. Going home around this time of year is stressful for a lot of people. It's the beginning of the holiday season. But I realize it might be especially difficult for you. What were you feeling during the visit?
Yeah, I was on edge for sure. Going back home usually has that effect.
It makes sense. You and your mom have been through a lot.
You could say that.
Do you want to talk about your visit a little bit?
I found a bunch of his stuff.
Take your time.
So I got into a fight with my mom. And after it was over, I meant to go for a walk, but I ended up just going straight out to my dad's shed. And then I slept there that night. I haven't been in there for so long. And in the morning when I woke up, I kind of poked around and I ended up finding a bunch of things my mom had saved. There was like a guitar and some notebooks, that kind of stuff.
I'm not sure you've mentioned that Nolan was a musician. You also play guitar yourself, right?
Yeah, I do. I also found this box of cassette tapes that were recordings of him making notes on projects and random thoughts, stuff like that. And it, I actually remembered that he used to do that. He used to talk to himself and make notes. And he made this one tape of us reading together. It was a Bernstein Bears book, Nature Guide or something. And I remember loving it when I was a kid. But there was this other tape that I found that was actually a song that he had written for me.
Hearing that after so long must have brought back a lot of memories for you.
Yeah, I've never heard it before. And I can't really handle talking about that right now.
Okay, take a breath. We can come back to that when you're ready. So last time we talked about you trying to manage your stress in new ways. How's that been going for you?
Fun, I guess. What did I even say that I would do again? Other than keep track of my dreams?
Right. Well, I think we said you try to disconnect from social media a bit more. Maybe turn off your phone at night.
Oops.
Not right.
Okay.
Maybe not watching anything that might cause you to have troubling dreams. Are you still hiking?
Yeah, I've been doing a little of that. Yes.
Okay. Let's go back to your visit for a second. You said you got into an argument with your mom?
Yeah. I honestly don't even know what happened there. We were having dinner and it was really nice. We were reminiscing and laughing. My mom is funny. And I just, during that conversation, I had this memory start to come back and I was struggling to fill in the gaps and I was trying to talk it through with her, but, I don't know. I felt like she wasn't taking it seriously and she wasn't seeing what I was saying and I lost my temper. But it's fine. We made up before I left. It'll be okay.
What made you think she wasn't taking you seriously?
She just thinks that everything is related to my dad dying.
Did she say something specifically?
Well, it's just she thinks that every bad mood that I'm in, anytime I'm frustrated, that it's related to him, and it's not. It's just not. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood.
Right. Have you tried talking to your mom about this?
About what? Which part?
About how you feel when she connects the mood you're in to your father.
No. We don't really talk about him too much.
Is there something getting in the way of you talking about Nolan?
Sometimes I feel like she just doesn't get it. She just doesn't get how I feel about him, and trying to explain is just exhausting, so I just don't.
Right. How do you feel?
Are you supposed to ask me that?
What I'm asking you is how you feel about your father.
I miss him, obviously. I hate that he's gone. I don't really know what else there is to say about that.
How about your mom? How does she feel?
She has her work friends. She's the dog, the house. She's fine. She's tough. She's always been that way.
She sounds tough, but she did lose her husband. I wonder if she might also be having difficulty around this time of year.
If she is, she doesn't show it.
It could be hard for her to talk about as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Losing someone close to you isn't easy for anyone. Maybe you could try to get her to understand where you're coming from by asking her how she feels.
Mm.
You may find some unexpected common ground if you try.
That feels like it would just be really awkward. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just call her randomly and be like, hey, Mom, let's talk about Dad.
Well, she's your mom. Why not?
I don't know. I guess I could, but...
I think you'll be surprised at the outcome, Micah. I really do. You mentioned recalling a memory during the conversation with your mom. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. My mom brought up this friend that I had when I was little, Amy, my best friend, actually. So my mom saw her mom recently, and I don't know, something she said, I can't even remember it now, but it reminded me of this day that Amy and I rode our bikes to a park in a neighboring town. And I was just trying to remember what happened that day because parts of it are really fuzzy.
When did this happen?
I figured it out that it was actually just before my 13th birthday.
Okay. What about this particular day stands out to you?
I don't know.
Are you sure?
So I can only remember the beginning and the end of that day. The middle is quite literally a blank. And when we were talking, I just had this overwhelming sense that I needed to know. And I thought that maybe my mom could help me. It was like if I remember that day and whatever happened, then other things might start to make sense.
What are you trying to make sense of?
That recurring dream I've been having. It feels like a lot of what happens in that dream is somehow connected to that day. I don't know. And I guess maybe I was feeling like if I could get some answers, if I could make sense of what happened that day and make sense of the dream, then maybe this issue with me not sleeping would just stop and I'd get some closure or something.
That's one way of looking at it. Let's talk through the dream again.
So in the dream, I'm on a hike or something in the woods, and all I know is that I feel like I am both familiar with the place that I'm in and not familiar at the same time, and things seem fine until I feel like I am being watched. And when I go to turn around, I wake up and I'm either screaming or in a cold sweat. And it happens all the time.